Most people dramatically overestimate the amount of calories they burn in a day, with the average person burning between 1.8 and 2.4 thousand calories per day, even with consistent exercise. Now, this statistic really shocked me, and it massively challenges the idea that you can out-train a bad diet. So welcome to the channel, and today we're diving into the science behind fat loss. Now, I don't want you to confuse this with weight loss in general, because these are two very different ideas. So many people think that fat loss is just the idea of moving more and eating less. And whilst, yes, that will put you in a calorie deficit, and a calorie deficit is the only thing that can make you lose weight, there are lots of things behind a calorie deficit and creating a calorie deficit that will impact how easy it is for you to lose that weight. So there are many scientific principles involved in fat loss, which are often overlooked, which causes many frustration because they're not seeing the fat loss results that they want. So in this video, we're going to break down these principles and uncover the truth behind losing fat. So let's start about addressing some of the most common misconceptions when it comes to dieting and fat loss. One of the most common myths is that doing endless cardio is the best way to lose fat. But according to a study published in Obesity Reviews, whilst cardio is effective for heart health and can contribute to fat loss, it is not the most efficient method when used alone. And another common misconception is that drastically cutting calories will lead to quicker fat loss, when in reality, extreme calorie restriction can slow down your metabolism and cause muscle loss, as noted in a study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. So these misconceptions often lead to frustration, plateauing, and even weight regain when old habits resurface. So let's break down the three key aspects of fat loss: metabolism, muscle versus fat, and hormone balance. So understanding these factors can completely change your approach to losing fat effectively. Right, so let's first talk about metabolism, because metabolism isn't just one thing. It's a combination of all the processes that your body uses to convert food into energy. So your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR, accounts for between 60 to 75% of the daily calories you burn. This is according to the research of the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. So this means that the vast majority of calories that you burn just comes from basic bodily functions like circulating blood, breathing, and maintaining body temperature, not exercise. And even more interestingly, physical activity only accounts for between 15 to 30% of your daily calorie expenditure, obviously depending on how much exercise you do every day. So a study published in the Clinical Journal of Investigation highlighted that even the small movements that you make throughout the day, known as NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, massively accounts towards the total amount of calories you burn in the day. So it's not just about hitting the gym for an hour a day, it's about staying active consistently throughout the whole day to keep your metabolism ticking. But this is where it gets tricky. When you significantly reduce your caloric intake, your body adapts to this and slows down your metabolism. This is a phenomenon known as metabolic adaptation. So although this survival mechanism is designed to make it easier to conserve energy, that also makes it harder for people to lose weight. This is why sustainable, gradual calorie reductions is more effective for long-term fat loss. This is all supported by studies from the International Journal of Obesity. All right, so now let's talk muscle versus fat. If you're sat there thinking, well, what does muscle have to do with fat loss? Then you need to watch this segment. So we're gonna discuss the differences between muscle and fat, because most people think when you lose weight, you're only losing fat. But unless you have a proper training plan and good nutrition, you're probably losing a good amount of muscle at the same time. So muscle is a metabolically active tissue, meaning it burns more calories at rest than fat does. And to put that into perspective, a pound of muscle burns around 6 calories per day at rest, whereas a pound of fat only burns 2 calories per day at rest. So if you have 100 pounds of muscle, that muscle alone will be burning around 600 calories per day. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that maintaining muscle mass is crucial for sustaining a healthy metabolism whilst in a calorie deficit. And this is why resistance training should be a key component to any fat loss plan, because preserving muscle helps you burn more calories even when you're not working out. And it ensures that the weight you lose is primarily fat. In fact, a study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants who did resistance training with a high protein diet lost more fat and sustained more muscle than participants who did cardio alone. Right, so finally, let's talk about hormone balance. So hormones are the body's chemical messengers and play a huge role in fat loss. For example, insulin, which regulates the body's blood sugar levels, can promote fat storage if consistently high due to a diet rich in refined carbohydrates or sugars. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that diets lower in refined carbohydrates resulted in higher levels of fat loss, on top of better metabolic health. This is because lower levels of insulin in your body makes it easier for your body to reach fat storage to use as energy. Another very important hormone for fat loss is cortisol, also known as the stress hormone. If you've ever heard the saying that the more stressed you are, the harder it is to lose weight, this is going to explain why. Elevated cortisol levels, particularly from chronic levels of stress, can result in higher levels of abdominal fat. This was shown in a study published in Psychosomatic Medicine. High cortisol levels can also lead to muscle breakdown, which we really want to avoid during fat loss phases. Managing stress through techniques like mindfulness, adequate sleep, and balanced nutrition is crucial for keeping your cortisol in check and optimizing fat loss. So here's the key insight that may change your approach to losing fat, and that is that maintaining muscle is absolutely essential during fat loss phases. Not only does it keep your metabolism higher, it also makes sure that you lose primarily fat, not muscle. This approach is supported by a groundbreaking study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, which found that combining a high-protein diet with resistance training resulted in more fat loss and more muscle retention than dieting alone. So by focusing on these three areas, boosting your metabolism, maintaining muscle, and balancing your hormones, you can lose fat more effectively and keep it off. This isn't about quick fixes or fad diets. It's about understanding how your body works and using that knowledge to achieve lasting results. So to sum it up, here are the main takeaways. First, understand that fat loss is more complicated than just cutting down your calories and doing more exercise. Your metabolism, hormones, and muscle mass all play a significant role in how effectively you can lose fat. Secondly, prioritize muscle maintenance through resistance training and a high-protein diet. This is to ensure that your weight loss is mostly fat and not muscle. So by following these scientifically backed principles, you can achieve more effective and sustainable fat loss. So now that you know the science behind fat loss, I'd love to know what your thoughts are and your experiences, and let me know in the comments. What challenges have you faced in your fat loss journey, and I'll see what I can do to help. If this is your first time watching a video on my channel, hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I post. So for these types of videos, it'll be every Saturday at 5 p.m. and for my workout Wednesdays, which, like it says, will be every Wednesday at 5 p.m. But that's all from me. I hope you lot enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.